Hey everyone, my name is Allison Moscato, and this is the Wine Lovers Vlog, episode 4. Now, I realized I didn't go right into the wine basics. I went right into New York without showing you and telling you the basics. So, we'll go back, and I'm going to get you understanding the basics first. So, serving size. This is about the right size for a serving size. Just where the wine meets the bowl, okay? Also, in a restaurant setting, make sure that the glass is about halfway full. That is a proper size. Gives you enough wine to enjoy throughout your meal so you can have the aromas and the flavors going on with your meal. You can put the entire glass. It's okay. I'm not going to fault you for it, but usually half a glass is perfectly fine. And then after serving, you want temperature. Making sure the temperature is right with the whites and the reds. Now, full-bodied reds to medium-bodied reds. Full-bodied you want 63 to 67 degrees, and medium-bodied 59 to 61. Give or take a couple degrees with that one, especially if you have it on a wine fridge or in your actual refrigerator itself. Also for whites, you want 52, 59 degrees for light, medium, dry whites, okay, and then going sweet whites and medium whites, you want about 45 to 50 with that. Now, again, give or take, depending on the refrigerator and your wine cooler, okay? Now, after you serve the wine, you want to decant. Now, what is decanting? It's in a form of aeration. When you aerate a wine, it brings out the aromas and the flavors of the wine. Now, when you decant it, kind of is the exact same thing, but it breathes a little more because you're going to put it in a decanter, which a decanter is a beautiful thing. It's almost like a vase with a handle, and it has an open bowl top and lets the air breathe and lets it develop, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous compliment to your wine and to your presentation if you're having a dinner party. With decanting, just make sure that some wines have sediment at the bottom. What is sediment? It's kind of like pebbles or even crystallites at the bottom of a wine. New York, not really known for having sediment at the bottom. California, again, not really known. I find it more in France and in Italian, sometimes in Spanish and Chilean wine, but generally you're not going to find it because what they're going to do is filter them out during fermentation and during bottling. That's what you're going to be looking for, though, especially in decanting. So you get a little fine strainer, make sure it's right over the decanters as you're pouring, and you're going to catch all the sediment and even more develop the wine as it's going into the decanter. Okay? Wine aging. Now, people have asked me, what is wine aging? Like, what's the deal with this? This is a 2014. It's 2015 currently, and what that means is when you are doing a vintage, it is the year prior when they are developing it. So they're harvesting it this year. They grew it in 2014. What they're going to be harvesting this year is the 2014, and that's where you get in 2014 vintage in the 2015 year. Does it for every kind of wine you think of. Always a couple years prior. There's some times where they're still growing grapes that is 2 years prior, which is pretty common some places as well. But New York, pretty common for having just 1 year prior. California, 1 year prior, maybe 2. Italian, France, and Germany could be going a little more, as well as Spain, Chile, and Argentina. Also could go a little back a little more. So just check the vintage dates. Just know that is usually 1 year prior. Just look at the vintage dates. And if you see it right on here, it's right there. Okay, and then you got the actual name and the grape on there with the Thirsty Owl label. That is the whole label. Look at the labels. These are going to say a lot of things, okay? They're going to have the vintage dates. They're going to have the grapes. They're going to have the amount of alcohol on it. And they're going to have the name. There might be other things added to it. Their bottle size is also added to it. But check out the labels from France, from Germany, from Italy. They're all going to have a little different things. You're going to see a couple different, like DOC or DOCG. I'll go into that when we get to Italian, France, and Germany too. Okay. Now, wine and terroir. What is terroir? That means soil. When you're thinking soil, think, okay, the limestone, the clay, where the grapes are grown, how they're using the atmosphere, the climate, the water from the Finger Lakes. Okay? Everything combines to make a beautiful grape, to combine to make a beautiful wine that is going to be for you. So just think terroir, soil, climate, everything you can think of when it comes to wine. Okay? Food and wine pairing. Since it's almost Thanksgiving, 2 days away, crazy, you want to know what to pair. Now, that dry Riesling, I already mentioned in the previous episode, dry Riesling is perfect for spicy food, perfect for Thai food, also perfect for your Thanksgiving dinner. Now, Pinot Gris is also perfect for your Thanksgiving dinner as well. Poultry, seafood, there's also exceptions to this rule. Now, people are trying big hearty reds with salad. It really is all on your palate and your taste. Generally, you go reds with going hearty, full-body meats. And then you go whites with fish and chicken and the lighter style meats and even salad. But again, there are different ranges now and people are trying different things. So I urge you to try different things as well. Okay? Now, there are some times where a wine has faults. Now, what is a fault? A fault is when a wine has something off with it and you're really not sure. Now, the big ones are oxidation. When it loses that freshness, it's smelling progressively flat, especially when you think of a champagne. If you have no bubble, that means you got a lot of air going into it and it just nothing. So think of when you have a Coke or when you have a Pepsi, it all of a sudden becomes flat and it's like you're missing something. That's what a wine can have as well. It can miss something. That's oxidation on the nose and the taste, so you can really gauge on that. If it smells flat, you're like, okay, there's something that's missing. Taste it. If it tastes flat again, you know it's oxidized. Just gotta toss it. Now, there's a couple other ones that it could be. Now, cork and corked, or corky, that is the most common. You're not going to find other ones. There are some other ones, but the oxidation and the corked or corky, you're going to find a little more. Now, corked or corky, basically your wine kind of smells like a wet basement. Dirty socks. And it kind of sterilizes the corks in a sense. When you smell a cork and it's dry, just be a little leery your wine has turned. And I urge you to smell it. If it smells like your basement, moldy, wet, dank, it's gonna be bad, okay? Then I urge you to taste it, just to be on the safe side, because it might be on the rim. There are some times where it's right on the rim, and it smells a little off. So I highly recommend pouring it, tasting it, and making sure that you're still tasting what you smelled, okay? There's also sometimes, this is what, from me to you, what I've been finding with screw caps. Screw caps, if you're laying them down on a wine rack, don't. Reason being, the screw cap will get your wine to taste almost metallic because of the metal and the screw cap itself. Just make sure it's upright. You don't have to lay those down because they're not actual cork. You don't have to keep the cork wet. It's a screw cap. So keep it up so your wine doesn't get all metallic-y flavor because of the actual screw cap itself, okay? Like I said, there's other faults that could happen with a wine, but those are the two main ones. Now, guys, I really hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I hope that this helps with the basics of wine. If you want to learn anything else about the basics of wine that I didn't cover, and you're like, wish she did, I really, really wish she did, let me know. Please follow me on Snapchat, Allie0527. Follow me on Instagram, Moscato Wine Lover 23. And Facebook, again, is coming soon, I promise you. Or just add me as a friend on Facebook, Allison Marie Moscato. And then questions below on YouTube. Guys, have a happy Thanksgiving. Cheers.